Yeah, before we get to Seydanin and Vivek and all, I just wanted to show you again one of the forts. This is Moonmoth Legion forts. This is what, this is what Imperial forts look like in their prime. If you remember the rubbish forts that are in, and basically ruins that are in Skywind, that are wrecked and covered in moss, this is what they look like in their prime, all 220 years ago. And look at that. That is just impressive. This is, Imperials are a joke. They are a real joke in Skyrim, but in Morrowind or Skywind, they were awesome. They could actually build without moss everywhere. And this is quite a strong little citadel. And there's a should we go and explore a dwarven fortress as well? We could go and explore a dwarven fortress, and I'll just show you how different they used to be. Because if you kind of read into the lore, the Dwemer's homeland, I know they were kind of a city-state based civilization, but the Dwemer homeland was Vardenfall, it was not Skyrim. So, back here, look, you've got all these people with handy weapons to sell. You had a couple of merchants in here, and what Fort Moonmoth acted as, it acted as a kind of really cool stop-off point or supply point where you could rest, where you could pick up supplies to go and attack these Dwemer forts. And that was like a really clever design. Of course, it doesn't really. And this guy, I think he was a Imperial officer. Yeah, he was the top Imperial officer. And here, it's a sort of a weaponsmith. And over here, you used to get a guild called the. You used to get a guild called the Imperial. They were basically Imperial priests. The Imperial cult, that was their name. And they taught you alchemy, and they were basically a missionary type people. I guess they're like. They're just like missionaries who try to spread the faith of the divines to other civilizations. Look at these kind of cool battlements. No moss, no cobwebs anywhere. These Imperial people knew how to look after themselves. Anyway, I'm just going to wander over, fly ourselves all the way over to this fort. This is one of the places you need to go for your Fighters Guild quest. You got directions to go over here. Of course, in the days with no fast travel, you couldn't fast travel at all, so you had to follow people's directions, and the directions were quite complicated. And you had to go along this massive Dwemer bridge, and this was another really cool innovation. You had these corroded looking bridges and metalwork all over the place, and this guy was evil. This guy killed me a lot of times. Is he a bandit or something? Snowy Granius. And oh yeah, but he used to kill me a lot, because back then you didn't get leveling. This guy was a high level character, and this is one of the first missions that you got. Haha! I've deleted all the other mods, but this is a new character. This is a fresh level 1 character that I'm using. Look at how covered in blood he's getting. It's just ridiculous. Look at how much blood he's got. He hasn't even got he doesn't have any spells or anything. Oh no! You can't charge! You can't charge yourself! Mercy? No chance. Well, I think he's dead, so we can pick up either his iron cuirass or his pants. And we don't want either of those. But let's see what's in these steel kegs. You got diamonds, look at that. That is a pretty shoddy looking diamond, but let's take it. You also got things like scrap metal. And let's see if this works. I'm not entirely sure if this is what works, because the only way you could do anything was activate this crank, and that of course opened up this place. But fortunately we can do this. Oh no, we can't get in. Oh yes we can. Yeah, what that did, it spun this area around so the door was revealed, and you had to do that in a certain time. But let's try and go into the old Dwemer forts and see what's going on. So this is what the height of Dwemer culture looked like. If you remember back in Skyrim, everything looked a lot better than this, to be honest. It looked almost perfect, but this is what it used to be like. These were classic Dwarven ruins, and remember, this is even 200 years. These ruins are 200 years newer, so they should look a lot better, but they don't, of course. And look at all this. This is what they used. You had to wander around, and you had these little caverns, and you fought. And you got these little kind of LED lights, I guess, or I don't know, neon lights to light the way. And these places were spooky. And they were cramped. And they didn't feel like the enormous cities that you get in Skyrim. I don't think any of these doors were. Oh, some of the doors were open because they transport you to new places. And you got these cool little mechanisms that worked. Does this activate Strange Machine? I can click on that and that just moves up and down. You had cool little innovations like this, and you could pick up these big Dwemer cogs everywhere. I think you can still do so. A rusty Dwemer cog. And I used to, when gold used to be scarce in Morrowind, this is the kind of thing that you used to sell. And these were a very popular item, the Dwemer tube. Let's take one of those. And this guy tried to kill you. You can't talk to him. And these books don't work, as you see. Let's just take that book anyway. He doesn't need it. Good afternoon. He doesn't say much. But you got another few of these steel kegs, and you got this cool scrap metal which you could eat and you could try as an ingredient. And you got, instead of getting, oh that's cool, Ruby. Instead of getting Dwemer cups, of course you just get normal cups, and I used to go around selling those as well for extra loot. This was back in the day. Anyone who is slightly nostalgic must be feeling a slight element of nostalgia right now. And of course you got these weird coloured candles and weird lights, and this is what I used to go and snatch and sell, these ornate goblets, because they were worth a lot of money. Am I currently weighed down? No, I'm not weighed down. Let's take that pictures. Pictures were cool, and you got these little ovens. I'd wonder if there's a ghost anywhere. But this place is crawling with bandits, basically. And all these bandits were hostile, but they were all named as well. They were not just generic bandits, so you didn't actually initially know whether they were hostile or not. But in the end, of course, you realise that everyone in the ruin was going to be evil. And this place is one of their mines, and I think we should find some Dwemer spiders in here. Or shall we? But anyway, I'm already getting lost. But the design of these places, I think, was much more intricate than it was back in Skyrim, because what you actually got was you got interlocking passages, so you didn't actually have to explore the whole place. There were places that you could leave out. Right now, of course, if you... oh, what's this? It's a series of cups. Right now what you get is you just get a one direction, essentially almost a scripted area which you have to follow to get to the end. But here, of course, you can just ignore places. The only mission that you actually ended up having to do was to go back to the very start, very beginning, and you had to go and steal a Dwemer puzzle box off the leader. And you could do that if you had a levitate spell. You could either kind of wander through everywhere, or you could just go directly to the initial guy and steal his puzzle box. Of course, he was a very high leveled person, so you needed to be high level to do that. Man, I'm getting lost already. This place is like a maze, and plus I don't think the maps work. Oh yes, they do. We need to go back to Weeping Bell. We need to go back to Weeping Bell. Weeping Bell Hall, I'm sure that's the place we need to go. And this is a huge, huge place. Hall of Centrifuge. Do you know, excuse me, do you know where to go? Oh no, 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 not Heaven's Gallery. A dead end, I'm sure I haven't been there. But yeah, you get deliciously lost in these places. Oh, that's right, and the doors. There used to be 2 of them that you had to open and unlock. Oh, the memories. Anyway, I'm gonna do what I always said I was gonna do. I actually am gonna go to Vivek. I am gonna go to Seydonin, and we'll pause things here because I'm spending far too much time investigating a ruin. And I'll see you next.